Hello, fans of Off the Road Dogbyte Games. Here we are in Snowfields Landmass. This video is part of a series on how to earn fast game currency. Previously, I've done a video from the sky platform there. I'm going to pull out the map here, and we're going to take a walk. The map, as you can see, I'm in the center of the map. I'm the little green dot, and the map was going to try to keep centering there. My karma, which I showed at the beginning of the video there, is the white vehicle. The Sky Platform Challenge is right here. Let's bring that up again. It pays out 6,500 coins, 1,500 experience points. Can be done with any of the helicopters in the game. It involves transporting 4 small containers, and is very easy to do, as it said there, and can be done in as little as 200 seconds. Now I'm going to zoom out on the map a bit. There's a new challenge I've been informed about that pays out even better than that. It is also on Snowfields Landmass. These challenges pay out better than any of the other challenges in any other landmass on the game, with the possible exception of one found by Earthbat TV on Red Canyon, which comes in between these. It's very difficult to do, though. Now here's another easy one. It's not quite as easy as the one I showed you just a second ago. It pays out 9,500 coins and the same 1,500 experience points. Involves the transport of 5 small containers. It does have some indoor flying, which means it cannot be done, or should not be done, with the very large green transport helicopter, which has twin rotors. And there it is, right across the snow and the short way across Snowfields Landmass. So let's close up the map. And there's the pin I just planted on the sea platform. Let's go back and get my karma, so we can get there fairly quickly. Away we go. So the engine starts up. Sky platform, old fast way to earn game currency. Pin, the new fast way I've been informed of. Even though you're going in the right direction, should you be following along those concrete tubes if you haven't planted a pin there yourself? You can see it's over by some buildings here, a cove over here. Just a sec. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to collect some coins. I have a very high multiplier in this game. I've been playing it for quite some time. So my multiplier, my earnings for this are going to be higher than yours. As I said, it pays out 9,500 standard plus whatever your multiplier is. Now I'm going to park my karma here near these buildings, because there's some containers that are going to be inside these buildings, and it may be the best option to use your karma or other vehicle to drag the containers out rather than flying into the building to get them. It will take you longer to do this mission, which can be done in as little as 210 seconds. I would consider a standard amount of time to do this mission or challenge 240 seconds, although gyro helicopter here may take slightly longer, another half minute or so. There it says it's easy, the coin payout. There it says how much experience points you get for the mission. I'm going to hit the start button, and there'll be an arrow up top pointing to the nearest container, and this symbol next to it saying there are 5 containers to collect. First one here we're going to is the one out to say. There are 3 options for picking up products with their helicopters. As standard with all vehicles, you've got the winch button down below. You can now see it flashing. I'm going to turn that by hitting the X on the hook. The other end of my experience point bar. There's now a hoist button. I could tap that and it will just automatically attach to any product that's down below that can be picked up. But even better is to use the hook right over top of the product. The reason for that is there can be many products down there. You want to pick up a certain product, you touch the button over top of the product. Now I'm going to swing the camera around my helicopter a bit. There's a reason for this. These helicopters, or a lot of them, most of them, have skeets on them. If you wrap your haul line around the skeets, the weight will not pull directly down on your helicopter. It will be off-center and your helicopter will try to fly in circles, or you'll try to fly sideways to keep going in the right direction. You notice the arrow is pointing at that building behind me there. If you look inside the building there are 3 containers there. They do not have hooks on them yet because I'm not close enough to them. I'm not going to there yet. As you'll learn when you repeat this over and over and over to earn a lot of game currency, you'll know exactly where the containers are. They do not move around. You can see there's a container at the bottom of the stairway there. I'll use the hook over top of the container. I could touch that by going through the glass by touching it. I cannot haul the container up through the glass. I'm going to point towards the stairs with the helicopter and just go up. The container will slide up the stairs. I'm going to center the camera here. Swing down. You'll see the containers on a rather long haul line. And I'm going to try to fly the opposite way the container is swinging when it's swinging back towards me, to try to get it not to swing as much, because if it's a long haul line, it can be difficult to get it to where you want it to go. Now, flying through the buildings. It's not too difficult with the gyro helicopter. I could have actually flown into the building to get the container I just picked up, but it's not advisable. You end up bumping into things. As you can see, the doorway is quite large here for our gyro helicopter. There's usually not a problem contacting the doorway. I like to go up above the containers a bit. I'm going to hover here just for a moment, swing the camera around. You can see there are all 3 of the containers. There's a trick to picking up these containers. You can either pick the one up top, or you can pick the one to the door where you're heading. I'm going to put the camera behind me, which is in chase view number 2, which puts the camera as close as it can be to the helicopter. I'm going to pan the camera down so you can see it's easy to drag it along the floor and aim towards the other door. It's usually best to go in one door and out the other. That way you don't have to slow up to change the direction of your helicopter. Takes less time rather than turning around, even though the gyro helicopter could fly within that large space in the building there for those 3 containers. We'll go back and get another container from the floor in here. We know exactly where they are. We've been here, and you'll know where they are because you'll repeat this over and over. I presume you're going to be wanting to earn lots of game currency. I'm going to center the camera again, loose them out to point towards the doorway. Watch the haul line, make sure it's not pointing towards the side of the building there inside. That was to my right. If you do that, the container will hook inside of the building. The haul line will go through the building. You'll be outside of the building, and you'll have to detach yourself from the container. The container will be in the corner of the building. You'll have to pull it out of there and go back in to get it and pull it out of there. It'll take a lot of time. You'll learn that. You'll probably make that mistake sometime during the repetition of this challenge to earn lots of currency. It's a lot easier to do when you don't have to worry about which container you're picking up there. You just hit the hook above the one container. And there we go. We've just earned 9,500 coins, so we hit the restart to earn another 9,500 coins plus whatever our multiplier is. But before this video started, I pre-positioned a helicopter fairly near here. the largest helicopter you're going to ever want to do with this mission. You could try it with the green helicopter. When you pick up those 3 containers from the building over there, you just end up pushing them up against the far wall, and it takes a lot longer to do. You can see, peeking out of the doorway here, I have got a pre-positioned Eagle helicopter. It takes up a fair amount of space in here, but you can see there's enough space in here to maneuver around with the Eagle. So let's get in the Eagle. Do not pick up too much speed inside of the building. The tail, see, started to bob up, as it will on the green and the orange and the Phoenix helicopter. So let's head towards the pin, or if we haven't pinned where this location is, the C platform, and get another repetition in. Let's hit the start. Almost looks like we've got some landing gear up front. We don't. Let me pan the camera around. There's a light up there. We're in version 1.7.1. So when the night cycle shows up, we need to light our way. There's a spotlight we can do that with. As you can see, you can touch the hook on top of the container, even if something is in the way, including your helicopter. Now, as long as we get this container above that circle by 6 meters, it will drop it off to the proper location. This time I'm going to follow the arrows to get the containers that are closest to the helicopter, rather than go after the far one first. As you can see, this helicopter is much larger. I'm going to center the camera. Takes a moment there. Do not hook the tailplane or the wing-like area, or even the fin outside of the building. I bumped into the containers. I want to gain a little altitude. I change the camera around, tap the hook above the uppermost container. It is a little more awkward in here with the larger helicopter. I want to drop some altitude. I centered the camera. I don't have to pan the camera down because this helicopter is so long, the camera is a little further from the container. It's also much faster, as you can see. And it's easy to control because the helicopter isn't as small and it has more mass, so the load doesn't drag it around as much. Back into the building, there's still those 2 containers in there. Sure the tail's not sticking way up in the air. Get down nice and low. Get a better angle to get to our containers. Try to get fairly close to the one we want. Use the hook above the container we want, which is the one closest to the door. And try not to wrap anything around the trees on the way out, which won't slow us down too much. It'll just cost us maybe a second or 2. The container and helicopter do not get wrapped around or damaged on anything. And back in for the 3rd container on the floor here. It is actually much quicker to do it this way, to go in with your helicopter, than to haul it out with a land vehicle. Point towards the door. Keep the helicopter plenty low. We're hooked around a tree. It costs a little more than 1 or 2 seconds there. This helicopter, the tailplane tends to hook pretty good on some things. Use the speed of the helicopter and just keep going, rather than turn right away. Now we need to be up to about 30 meters to clear the edge of the building there. We'll fly over it. Reduce our speed here just a bit so we don't overshoot. Get over top of the opening. Pan the camera down. Hook the container. Point towards the stairs and just go up. And the container slides up the stairs. And I'm going to pan the camera down even with this helicopter because the container's in a fairly long line. So when the container's swinging out, I want to swing back the other way to reduce the swing of the container and get it to the drop-off area. There, we've done it twice. We will repeat it if we want to earn lots of game currency. And as I was saying, you might notice it's getting a little bit dark. I'm going to turn on the helicopter's light. You can actually light up a very good portion of the challenge area here. It is not a very big area to fly in to do this challenge. We don't need the light on right now, but I will show you something about the time in the game. There is an icon over top of each and every fix-it garage, as well as any dwelling you build, the little small cabin or home. And the timestamp is only available on the map in version 1.7.1 of Off the Road. If I hit the sleep button above the fix-it garage, the time always changes to 10 p.m. as the next time cycle it changes to. Or if you don't want to fly at night, you can hit that button again, wait for the button to become active, and hit it again. It is now 10 a.m. as viewable on the map. So have you heard about the next landmass that's going to be coming to Off the Road? It's going to be called Arena. It should come out sometime around December 2021. It's going to be a completely built environment, no natural landscape. This would be a good prelude to give it a try of what you think Arena might be like. There's a lot of indoor flying, as may be available on Arena Landmass. I don't know if helicopters will be available on Arena Landmass or boats, but it's going to be all built. Before we leave the landmass here, there's one other thing I want to show you. I'm going to go back to this sky platform. We're just going to take a quick look at what is a very good payout. It's not quite as good as the one I just showed you, but it pays out much better than all the other fast ways of earning game currency, with the exception of the one I showed you over there, and a method that Earthbat TV shows on his channel for earning on a Red Canyon car mission or drone challenge, drone race. So I hope you found this video useful or helpful, and it does help you get ahead in the game.